Simple game. This should work. I just click that. Basically, there's a couple different categories. And you have like what's called the upper half and the lower half. And depending on what you roll, which I'll get to in a sec, you choose what you want to score. But they're also right here. So the upper half is just scoring the sum of the pips on the die. So the way the turn will work in the game is you roll all 5 die, hopefully into the thing. Then I see like I have 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's a straight, so maybe I'll re-roll a 1, get another 1, and I get one more re-roll. So 3, 4, 5, 6. That to me is a small straight, which is 4 dice in an ascending order. So I would say I want to pick a small straight. So these die get scored for that, and then you just keep going until you filled out every single category. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different things. If you roll a bunch of the same number, you can score them as those. So you would just, I have 2 6s in here, so I would get 12 points if I scored 6s. What was intriguing between the kata that I looked up and the actual rules was some of this was different. They had like a pair, 2 pair, and that's actually not in the game, so I removed them. But it's a sum of all the dice if you have 3 of them that are the same, which is interesting. And same for 4 of a kind. Full house, small straight, and large straight, so that's, that should say 5. Not 4. If you get all 5 of them the same, it's Yahtzee, and if you just don't have anything, then you can say, all right, I'm just going to score all these as the chance.
Okay. You can only get points for the first time you do it. If you do it and you get another one,
You can only use each category once.
yeah.
For the purposes of tonight, I didn't try to include this, but in theory, if you get multiple Yahtzees, you get Yahtzee bonuses. We could add that in if we get that far, but you could also add in multiplayer. But I have this constraint for tonight, just to keep it simple, assuming a single player. Did you say you've been here for coding night or no? Mm-hmm. Okay. You were here for some of the blackjack ones, right?
Yep, yeah.
Yeah. So with the blackjack one, I just had like, oh, here's the game, let's go figure it out together, because I didn't want to drive whatever direction. I wanted to let the group kind of pick it up. But what I did yesterday was I actually went through, programmed this, pushed that into a branch on the repo, and then gutted all the logic out of it and just left the functions. And that's what we're going to start with today. We can change them to whatever we want. They are there as guardrails, that's it. And the way we've been doing it is an ensemble approach, because this is your first time doing this too. Where we have a typist, and a navigator, and the ensemble. Typist, their job is just to type the code. They're not thinking about what to type, they're just doing whatever the navigator's telling them. The navigator's job is to progress the code. And you see a little timer in the corner, we'll restart that clock every 4 or 5 minutes. So no one's always narrating or typing, we get a rotation of it. And then whoever's in the ensemble can help. It'll make sense as you go through an evolution. But today I don't have any questions so far. All right. I will give a quick run through. So I have a bunch of functions up here. So like if If you want to score, that you got the ones.
Right.
So you get function, 2s, 3s, etc. It might not be as efficient to have all these functions. We can change it around, but then you get your 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, yada yada yada. Then you get down to like game logic, and these are the functions that I had. One to actually roll the die, and you tell it how many dice to roll. A prompt of which of the dice you want to keep versus roll, and we can figure out how we want to implement that. I had a function to check if the dice, so if I had like all 4s and I said I wanted to keep some 5s, this will check, or we should be able to say, you can't really do that. And once you're done rolling, you gotta pick how you want to score it. So I have this help function of prompt the category to score, so it can list out all the different ways you can score it. And then show scores to me is just let's print out all your scores. And then I made this dictionary. So the categories are here. The user currently has a score. This hasn't been counted, and this is the function used to calculate the score. We can modify this if we want. Doesn't matter. It's just the way that I did it.
So you set it to true when the person has met that condition.
If I say I'm going to score this as a large straight,
Yeah.
then I will say use equals true.
Yeah.
And then that's how I can figure out, okay, are we at the end of the game? I was thinking if there's anything without a score left, but it is possible to score 0 points on something. Like if you got a terrible roll, you've already used your chance, and you just need to put it somewhere, then in theory you can do it that way. So that's why I have the used variable. Since I've already solved it, well, I take first typist, and you want to be first navigator?
Sure.
And let me switch the video on the video. Oh, and then also on in the test file, I have tests for all the functions that we might need tests on, so we can make sure we test our scoring things at least correctly. And then, yeah, these are the ones that are not the scoring functions that I felt the need to test on. I'll start the timer and then.
Sure. You said 5 minutes?
Sure, we can always change it.
Yeah. All right. Well, then, can you run the tests? Okay. So it would seem like this would be a good starting point, since we have a test. And so we.
Huh, that's interesting. All those are skipped because they don't have any parameters in them.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, so we are testing a roll returns the correct number of dice. So we let roll n is equal to n. And so can you show me where roll is? Yeah. Okay. So rolls n dice and returns the result in the list. Okay. So let's get the test to pass. Let's return 1. Oh, right. I'm in vid mode. I'm going to pause this.
One of these days I'm just going to try to learn Vim, but
Plugins. Why can't I see plugins? Right there.
because it's under the cursor.
Yeah.
Turn 1.
And that isn't right either because it's going to want a something, yeah. So go ahead
A
and,
list of 5, right?
in this case, I think just a list of 1,
Okay.
I think. Let's see.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
That should work.
Yeah, I'll do it this way.
Perfect. Cool. We got a test pass. Yay! Did I start it again? I didn't start it again.
It's okay.
Okay. Cool. All right. So now we need it to pass for a 2. So we need to obviously it's a length, right? So we need to create something that will return.
Yeah.
So one thing we could do is do return after the end bracket. We can do time the star and then n. See if that works. That works. All right, we're done. All right, happy now.
This is a very predictable game of Yahtzee.
Okay. Okay. So let's go to the next test that. I guess we go to the first parameterized, which is test keep is valid. Well, I guess I'm trying to think. Like, should we? Okay, my ensemble. Do you think we should keep going down these tests, or do you think we should kind of create a test that might test to see if we have the right values?
Technically.
Or is there one? Oh, we do. You're right. Okay.
And it's passing.
And it's passing. All right.
It's not right, but it's passing.
How about we let's go ahead and.
What's the test for that?
That's right here.
X number of,
So if I were to make this like a
you're
8,
just checking, I see, just checking the range of each of them.
yeah,
I got
now
you.
it's going to
Okay.
fail.
I got you, okay, yeah.
All right.
Hey, look, you have a failing test.
Indeed. Oh, hey, I have a failing test. All right. So, and knowing that with Yahtzee, there were supposed to be random numbers, so we need to generate. Okay, so inside that, you can get rid of the 8, and so we want to return. Let me think real quick. I'm thinking in my mind. I'm trying to think of this as a list comprehension. So let's just do. For some reason. Okay. So we want a random number. So we want to. I think it's random dot. Randint. Perfect. Thank you. And open parens, right? And we need to give it like a bounds. 1 and 6. Seems like you've done this before. In range n. Yeah. And so. Thank you.
Yeah.
1 and 6. Is that really right? Oh yeah, of course, because there's 6-sided dice. Okay. Yeah. So you can click solo click on random. Oh, and hit that little red light bulb, and do import this name.
There we go.
And random not random. And can you hover over that? Just import random.
That's probably the better way to go.
I didn't look close at it. I was like, oh yeah, let's just adopt that option.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll the test. Run the test. See if that works. It does.
Yeah.
Can you, out of curiosity, I was trying to think if we could just see what it would look like. How about after in the test after? How about after? Sorry, I'm just trying to think which one to do. How about on the second test after that assert?
Yeah.
Here?
And essentially, I realized I was hoping we can get the whole hand, so to speak, the roll, but I guess we could
I
extract.
mean, are you just trying to look at it, or are you trying to look at it in the test?
I was just trying to look at it.
Do you wanna
I mean, we could just run the file.
We could just run the file.
How do you run this one file?
You can. The easiest thing to do is just hit the play button on the left.
Oh, hey.
And we'll need to print it.
Yeah, that would probably be.
right, look at that. Isn't that great?
A lot to die. There.
Cool. Now I've got 16 seconds left. What can I do with 16 seconds? Let's understand the next one. So keep test is valid. We want to assert. So we're going to pass in a hand of dice. What is it?
Yeah, it's gonna have the dice, and you're gonna tell it which ones you want to keep.
And valid is.
And this is just making sure that, you know, if I have that and I tell it I want to keep some ones, it's going to tell me no, you can't.
You don't have any ones?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So that's what the is valid to keep function was used for in my.
Okay.
What do you think? Does anybody want to volunteer
Take
to
both.
try?
I'll give it a shot.
Cool.
Let's
Do you
see.
want to also control the timer?
And if you want.
I can send it to you. So
Yeah.
you can just do it.
Control from my computer.
Yeah, good idea.
So let's see, test keep is valid. And it says dice keep invalid, so
Yeah, so the idea with the, I mentioned, are you familiar with the parameterize of, oh right, I don't have BIM anymore. Are you familiar with the PyTest parameterize idea?
no.
All right, so essentially what he's saying is,
Oh, do you want to explain I'm going to use my turn to explain.
oh, well, I just figured, well, before we start the next round, we can kind of use it as a, but oh, I see what
But
you're
also
saying.
explain it.
Yeah, good idea. So one thing you can do, I realize, when you are the driver,
Yeah,
you can opt to say, or, yeah, essentially, I want my turn to be for understanding.
okay,
So like, you don't have to like stand up there and say like, this is what we want to do, this is what we do, right? You can just get up there, ask questions, you know, just have
Good,
it be a
because I need
conversation.
that.
Yeah.
So tell me about parameterize.
Yeah, so parameterize. So in this case, so I'm just going to focus down
If
to
you
just this
go
one.
up,
Oh, oh yeah, you're right. So in this case, let me run this test. This test, the first time this test runs, you see it takes n as
Yep,
a
yep.
thing. First time it takes 1 as an argument. And so essentially what the
I
parameterize does is
gotcha.
it reruns.
So it's a list
the
of
test.
values, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
And so in this case,
so it would run it 5 times, one with each of those items in the list.
that's how this one works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how that works, okay.
This one takes 3 parameters.
Yeah,
So we would end up like passing in, say, a list of, as you
3
can see,
values.
3
I gotcha.
tuples of 3 values, yeah, whatever they are. I don't think it's.
Okay,
factored
and
through.
dice is the number you want, is the value on the number you want replaced?
So it's getting passed to is valid to keep, which has a function signature of taking 2 lists of integers. So the dice would be a list of integers that are available. Then you want to keep a certain set of dice.
So you get a list of what you want to keep, or what you want to, go ahead.
So if it's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you tell it you want to keep 1, 2, 3.
That would be the second list, I got you, okay.
Then that's a valid thing to keep. But if it was 1, 2, 6, then that should say false, because that's not going to be valid. And it's a way to,
So is that parameter list, is that basically the choices? I mean, you're not gonna have all different combinations of numbers in there, right? You're not gonna say if it's 7, if
you
it's,
just need a representative set to make
I
sure
gotcha.
that you understand that
To
your
check it
function
out.
is doing what you need.
I got you,
So
okay.
if you accidentally type something wrong in the code, then you can come back and be like, oh, that's where something went wrong.
I got you. So you're coming up with examples you wanna use in the tests that would drive the code. I got you, okay, okay.
And you can write separate functions for each set, like, test keep is valid when choosing dice that exist, and you can just write the test case. Or you could say, another test is when they don't exist, and then you would expect to get false. Sometimes
no, that makes sense, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so we're looking for the code that says, that's the test below, right? That's the test keep is valid?
If that's the test we
Oh.
want to work on, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, and is that, where's the code for that?
It is, sorry, it is, the code is here on the left, oops,
Oh, okay.
on the left side.
Okay, so the code there, basically what it would do is it would take in the second list, and it would check the second list to see if each of the items in the second list is in that first list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right? Right. And so would would we do that as a comprehension, or do that as a for loop?
However you would like.
yeah, you're the driver.
Well, let's start with a for loop, that's easy.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we'd say for, and so the second list, what's the name on the second list? Is there a name on it?
Keep,
Keep.
Oh, just keep, right,
So
okay,
you set dice and you tell which ones you want to keep.
okay. So we'd say for X and keep. Let me think about it. So if it's in the, so, okay, yeah, for X and keep. Yeah, for X and keep, and then we'd say, if X is in, is it valid, what's it called? This, oh, dice, if X is in dice,
yeah. So those suggestions are coming from the AI?
yeah,
Okay. Because they're pretty good, but,
I was just gonna see if like,
now, we're not gonna know if, because it's just it's returning just one reply, or is it failing each, keeping or failing each individual entry in the list? How do you want that program to work?
If I say I want to keep this set of die, it just needs to be able to tell me whether or not that's a valid move.
So
So if I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they've given me 1, 2, 6,
That's not.
I'm gonna fail.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say 1 and 2 are valid, but 6 isn't, you don't want. you don't
Because
want-
6 isn't valid, I'm going to say,
The whole
if you
thing.
can't do it, try
Okay,
again.
okay.
apparently I don't know the setting to turn it on. But
So, if the real clue is, we want to go through all of them to see if something's failed,
yeah, it's
then we,
frustrating.
go ahead.
Yeah, it's like, the thing that it is suggesting is almost right, because it looks like if X not in dice.
Right, right.
Yeah. And you want to return false and be done with it.
Right, so keep going in, so if X is not in dice, right, return false. And then we say else true, or, yeah,
Return true.
return true, there you go, perfect, there you go.
oops. And our test pass.
And we passed it.
Yeah.
We passed it, cool.
Both, I say both. Yep, both of the test cases passed.
Okay. Now, do we need to put any guardrails on, or is that set up in the, when we do the actual roll, that we're gonna get only 5 or less, and we're gonna get between 1 and 7? I think I saw that there, right? So there's no way we should check, did we get 7 in the list?
Say that again?
I guess what I'm saying is, do we need to do any edits in here to make sure that the list of dice are valid and the list of keep is valid? By valid, I mean the right number, it's not, we're not
The
getting
values
6
of the
in the
dice.
list. Not the value, but the number in the list.
The sizes of the list?
Yeah, size list.
If we come up with something where we need to worry about it, we can worry about it then.
Well, okay, cool. So should we go on to the next one?
Sure.
We got,
That's the next test here. Score one.
Score ones. Okay, so in this test, we're looking at a list of dice, and we're saying, do we have a certain number of ones? Is that the check? Is that what the goal is?
So this is on the scoring side of things. So you pass in scoring questions a set of dice and it will score it. So if I pass in 5 dice, and I've told the game I want to score this for the ones category.
All 5 have to be ones.
No.
Oh, no, okay.
You just.
Oh, you determine how many ones, I gotcha. And then you give it the correct
it's
score for that?
Score the sum of the dice that read that number. So if you have a single one, you only get 1.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
You've got 4, you get 4 ones.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so in this case, we want to look at the list and we want to count how many ones we got. And there should be an easy way to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there an exist keyword or a count keyword, or what would we use?
There is a count keyword.
Ah. Can we give a value?
Yeah.
And we throw it in?
Score ones, so ones.
Well, for ones, it's not gonna matter.
Right, and that's where we are, right? Are we in ones? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we have to multiply that times the score, right? Which would be the count.
Which is 1 in this case.
Okay.
Cool.
Did our test work? Was that our beeper?
It did. Paper, and you can see our test score ones passed.
Oh, cool.
There's only one.
We pass 1 die.
Yeah, we only passed one, but
Cool.
I mean, yeah. You want to rotate in?
Sure.
Anybody want to volunteer to?
I can go.
I've been coding R and Python all this week, so I might be confused on some of
Yeah.
the languages.
You can tell when
Just remember which way the assignment operator goes.
You can tell when I've been coding in JavaScript. I'm like, do it all.
I'm mostly gonna ask questions, so
Yeah, that's fine.
So with the categories, so 1 is a category, 2 is a category, 3, 4, 5, 6, all categories.
Yeah,
including
3, 4, full house, those are all
Yep.
different categories.
Okay. So let's say I roll, yes, 5 dice?
Yes.
Okay, so you roll 5 dice, and 3 of them are ones, so you can then put that in the 1 category,
And you get 3 points for it.
3 points for it, and then the remaining you can roll again.
So you roll, you get 5 die, you roll them. You choose which ones you want to keep
Okay,
and which ones you want to re-roll.
Okay.
You re-roll those.
okay,
From that same 5, you can pick up a different set, or you re-roll the same ones,
Wow.
and you roll it again.
okay,
After the 3rd roll, whatever die you have, that's what you need to choose how you want to score it.
interesting, okay. Okay.
So at some point in time, it's frozen, and then you go to score it.
Yes. And then once you score that, then you start again until you fill up all the categories.
Okay, and I'm still trying to understand how this exactly works. Terminal, you can write the code, you can run the code, the terminal will have the output. But I'm wondering how a game would work. How would you initiate a game? How does that all work together?
So Chris has started us down the route of just addressing the tests.
Okay,
But down at the bottom where I have that large dictionary of all the different categories, the score, used, and function,
okay,
below that is where we would write the logic.
okay,
And that's stuff we would need to come up with.
okay,
So right now, these are functions that we need. You code the functions, and later on, you gotta put them together.
Yeah. So you need to go with the logic first and then solve the scorings, or we can get the scorings work and then focus on the logic, now that we know that the scoring works right.
okay. So right now we're just trying to make sure the scoring works.
Yeah, if we're going down these test cases, then that's how you would do it.
Okay. Okay. So test score, let's just try it to, I guess, debug something, or just to test scores twos, see. Okay, so,
So the easy way to run the test again is to hit this rerun button down there.
Right here?
Oh,
right here?
yeah, there you go.
I gotcha.
So, one's all the test.
So we don't have any passing tests for twos.
okay.
So what you probably want to do is make a test case, similar to what we did for the ones.
Yeah, that seems
Yeah.
like the easiest thing to do.
How would you do that?
Similar to where he has a list just containing a single die that's a one. Within there, if you hit enter, and then in here you would pass in just like that, except you would take out that last. So you're passing a list of up to five die. You can really pass as many as you want. Make sure a couple of them have it, one or more have the two in it, and then.
So we're essentially writing the function, so we're testing if the function works as we expect it to work here.
We're defining how the function should work,
Okay.
and then we're gonna use that to make sure that we did our logic correctly.
Okay. Okay.
So on the right side where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we would say to test this, let's come up with a test case. What digits, what die do we want in that list? We'd want at least 1, 2, right?
Right, so if we put, let's say, 2, 2, 2, we put 3 twos. And then the remaining 2, we just put 1 or 3.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is,
Now, go ahead. Like I said, this is our roll now, so we have, this would be our roll.
Mhm.
So then,
This would be the final roll after three
after
rolls
rolls.
getting sent to score.
Okay.
So you also need to pass the parameter of what your expected score would be.
oh, right, that makes sense, okay.
Um,
Is it after the paren or before the paren? Before the
Before
paren,
the
right?
paren, after the bracket.
After the bracket, okay.
Nope.
And
Nope,
it's,
nope.
oh, I jumped over it.
There we go.
Because our expectation is a 2, right? We're looking for 2s.
Which is the sum of the twos.
So
Oh, how
six.
many 2s?
So this should be worth 6.
Oh, I see. This is what we expect to come back from the score. I got you. That makes sense.
Does that make sense? To you?
Kind of, yeah. Yes, it does, there's still a lot, but.
No,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally.
Okay, what would you put after that?
That's all you need.
That's
That's
right.
all you need. Okay.
Now you just need the function. The timer stopped.
Okay.
Do you want to keep going, or do you want to switch?
I can keep going.
All right, let's get.
Let's finish it, yeah.
Let's do it another round.
Would you like to?
Are you?
We'll have-
Okay, oh, I was.
And
Either
Yeah,
way.
yeah, we'll keep going, yeah.
Cool.
We'll do it fair.
Oh, you
yeah.
mean,
sure.
Okay, so I guess to finish that, because we have the test, we just need to go back and implement score twos. And looks to me like all we need to do
On the left, Rich.
is change that return dice count of 2 to basically multiply 2, so return 2 times dice dot count of 2. Because that will give us 2 points for each occurrence of the 2 dice, which is what I think that's supposed to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then I guess we want to test it?
Okay.
I'm trying to listen to him. So,
Yeah.
we want to listen to me.
That did not work.
Okay. Oh, because okay, so go back to before dice dot count to 2 and put it 2 times, multiply that value by 2. So,
dice count.
no, not in there.
Okay.
That's
After.
after is gonna work, yeah, after the paren.
At the end of the line.
Here.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, so times 2.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
Boom.
yep, good. And the thing is, it looks like, I mean, the easiest way to go through this might just be to go ahead and do, how 1 and 2 work. We can do the same thing for 3, so I guess, let's see, you have a test score 3s, so write a set of parameters, say, 1, 2, 3, 1, or let's say 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. Not here, over in the test column.
Okay.
So we have test score is 3, so we want to parameterize, and we guess we open, in that bracket, we'll go ahead and put open paren bracket, if I'm following the syntax correctly.
You got it.
Open paren, square bracket, square bracket. And let's just say 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3, yeah, comma, 3, 1, 3, and that should give us a value of 6 because there are 2 3s in there. Yeah. Okay, and that, I think, is our test.
Yep, yeah, looks good.
Say test, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta change the code.
Oh, right.
Right, okay, so now we're to the code, so now I think it's pretty much gonna be the same thing. I'd almost even just copy
Sure.
that return from the, or the from the score choose, yeah. Or you could do it that way, yeah. Times.
Look at that AI at work.
Yes.
We're saved.
The worse,
There it is.
the more this stuff gets better and better and better, pretty soon, coder's non-existent.
But who's gonna develop the AI?
Well, there you go.
Who's gonna train the AI? Generations of coders. Okay, so I guess, so I guess at this point we could either add another test case for add some more test cases to the existing test, or we could just go ahead and fill out 4 and 5, only 4
Yeah.
and 5.
Yeah.
March down the list.
What? Yeah.
Just march down the list.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty much we'll do the same thing here, and I don't know, let's put 4 4s and a 1 as our test case. Okay, and that should of course give us 16.
You'll need to write that in parentheses, the whole thing.
Oh yeah, there's there are brackets around the 4s. Yeah. there is. Or no, okay, yeah, comes there. Yeah. And again, here's just again the same thing, return dice count times star 4, yeah. Oh, AI put it in too.
AI, yeah. And this time it did times 4,
So what
so.
happens if we don't have any 4s in there? Does that still work?
Oh, good question. So why don't we do that? Why don't we go ahead and make a test for that?
So to build another case, just comment in the next test.
You just copy the line down, and you can change the values.
Yeah.
Or,
So duplicate line 46.
Okay.
Oh,
Control C, yeah.
Command.
Command.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's a Mac, yeah.
Sorry.
And then Command V.
Command B.
Oops, sorry. V, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, Command B.
There you are.
There we
And
go.
I just need to add a comma in between them.
Okay, now change, yeah, I guess we can change all the 4s in that second example to say 3s or something else. And it should,
43s. I mean,
That's a better
the test should still work the same.
yeah, it should actually, yeah, and that should return 0 now.
Should.
And it does. Our test call is
Now,
expected.
should we ever get there though, right? Because isn't there, you have a test where you check. Isn't there a check someplace where you did before, where whether or not there's 3s in there or not? Or 4s?
This is
Yeah.
scoring 4s with a handful of 3s.
Yes.
Right, but would we even ever execute that? Oh,
It
it doesn't matter.
If you need to like
Works.
throw away a roll, then
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, I see, I got you, okay.
The line 47 should have a 0 instead of 16.
Yeah, which is why it failed.
Yep.
Why? Why have 0 instead of 16?
Because the expectation is 0.
Yeah.
Because we had a fail Gotcha.
But now, if you run it again, you'll see that this goes green.
Interesting.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, so,
Okay.
because this is what we're putting as the expectation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, and so when we put 16 as the expectation, that's what it got. And so-
Perfect. Maybe I should have listed expected as score, but,
Yep.
Well, that's fine.
yeah.
I think
I mean, I just use expected.
expected is better, I think.
Expected is what I use in general for tests, like this is the value I'm expecting,
Right.
but in terms of this, semantically, score probably works fine.
Pete, you want to take
Yeah,
it?
sure.
I'm gonna sit out of the rotation because I'm,
Okay.
Okay.
there's a point that I'm gonna jump back in. Okay. But,
All right, so we just did score fours, let's do score fives.
Okay.
And so let's in line 53, let's,
Oh,
delete
right.
that.
Mhm.
There you go. All right, so let's make a parenthesis, open close paren, and an open close square bracket.
Yep.
Then let's do 5, 5, 5, 1, 2. And that should be what? 1, 2, 3. That should be
So there's 15.
yeah,
Oh,
No,
15, isn't it?
15.
15,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Ah, good. Yeah, because all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, how is that less than the last one? Cool. And let's go ahead and run our tests to make sure.
get the 0.
Oh, wait, we haven't implemented score fives yet.
Yeah, I just want to run the test to make sure. it
Oh, you
failed.
want to run the test just to see it? Okay. And it's this one? Or?
Nope.
No, it's not my five. Oh, this.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Yay.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Did you want to explain red green refactor?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So the reason I do this, so test-driven development is kind of the style that I've been trying to practice, and kind of what we're doing here, where you have you run the test to make sure it fails, to have it, and not only fails, but it fails in the expected way. And then you want to write, essentially, they say like they want you to write code that changes the way it fails, whether it fixes it or makes it fail in a new expected way, and until it passes. And then once your test passes, then you refactor, which is essentially like make it so that it's easier to understand, or might take some other kind of optimization. Cool. So in this case, we got a failing test. I'd like to make it so it doesn't fail, or it fails in a different way. And since we kind of have a pattern here, let's go ahead and do exactly that, right? You can hit tab and
Oh, that's how you do it. Oops. Okay,
No,
I
that's
lost
all right.
it. Okay, yeah.
it might show back up.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, hit tab.
Boom.
Yep.
Now rerun the tests. Okay. And while we're on this, let's go ahead and do the last one of score sixes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So on the right side in the test file, let's go down to test score sixes. And then add a test case in that list.
Yep.
And to open paren, and then what? 61616.
616.
Why not?
16.
So that should be 18.
Yeah. Get that comma in there. No. Oh, yeah, right. Should be 16, 18. Right.
And now let's run our tests. Make sure they all.
Oh, this should fail, shouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. And now in score sixes, we can do return dice.count 6 times 6.
Oh, this time it didn't. Ooh,
Yeah.
it didn't fill it in. Okay.
Cool. All right. So now that we've got passing tests, we've got a good set of we know these are passing, a good set of functionality. This would be a good opportunity to refactor. First thing I see is we have all these passes in here. I said let's go ahead and delete line 56.
Yep. Is there an easy way to do that? I have no idea what your
There
editor
is,
said.
I don't remember. I use the Vim key binding, so I don't remember what it is. And we can delete
Yeah, I don't remember what the Vim for delete line is either.
DD. So we can delete 47 and 46.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's, yeah. I'm debating about doing some more. Why don't we just keep going, right?
Okay.
In my mind, I was thinking oh, maybe we can refactor some way. I only have a minute left. So what's the Next test would be test score 3 of a kind. Let's go into that. So if you can scroll down in here, so you see 3 of a kind. And now on the left side, up at the top, we're in Yahtzee.py. Can you switch over to readme.py?
Oh, yeah.
Sum of all dice. Okay, cool. So this means, so let's introduce a new test parameter in score 3 of a kind. And enter. And now open close paren, open close bracket. And so, okay, so we have 3 of the kind. So let's do, let's keep it easy, right? 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. And so,
What?
and so,
Yeah.
so it should be 8, right? Is that, am I understanding that? So,
Oh, is that, okay, yeah.
so if you want to finish that, we can just
Yeah.
add a comma after the.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, that's all to do, yeah.
Alright. And, Pat, hit, you want to rotate it?
You can do the next one. So it's sum of all, is that what it is? Sum of all the dice? Not sum of just the threes?
Yeah, that kind of threw me for a loop. I was expecting it just to be the sum of 3, but.
Okay.
Should I finish this, or does somebody want to rotate it? Do you want to rotate it?
Already,
Yeah.
sure.
Alright, cool.
You've been sitting for a while.
Okay, so we got the test there. Do we want to, do we add tests for failures? Oh, I guess you
Oh,
just
we
run
sure
it.
can. We can. We don't, the way the test is set up right now is not set up to report that there's a failure. So we can
Okay.
create a new test for a failure.
Okay, okay. So now we can go over, we can actually change this to do the, so it's 3 of a kind, so it would be, oh, this is a little trickier, right? You have to find what 3 things you have.
I think it's actually easier.
If you know the.
Okay. Help me, what's an easier way to do it?
Oh, so what? Okay, I'm sorry. So in my mind, I was thinking this was easier because we're just summing everything up. But we
First you
have to have
find
the
out.
guard clause.
Right.
there.
Right.
Okay, okay.
The score is easy to calculate, the condition is the question.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So what would be the easiest way to score that condition? So to identify the condition. Would you just go through a loop of 1 through 6 and say, do I have 3 of these?
We can try that.
You could, and you can use that count function to say.
Right, right. So we would do a loop that said, for x and 1 through 6.
I'm sorry. Range starts at 0, so I guess I have to do 1 through 6.
Oh, there you go, right, yeah, you gotta, yeah. Okay, so now we would just do a count for x. We'd say if, and we'd say if the count x equals 3, then we would just sum the die.
Yeah, we do want to return something.
Yeah.
We don't want to keep
Right,
going.
yeah, yeah.
That works.
Cool. That was easier than I thought.
Do you want to try would you want to try a invalid version of this?
Yeah, yeah, let's try that.
Do you know how? Or want to guess how? Or,
Or wouldn't we just,
You just grade it.
oh, I see, just do a test. I got you, okay.
What do you mean by
Invalid?
invalid?
So you're
oh,
passing it,
I
passing it
see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
I see. Now I understand where you're saying. Okay. So what I was thinking is we would throw an error because I'm used to like all these different things. But the truth is, if I may,
This is a score.
right.
The score should be 0, right?
there you go. Yeah.
So if we just pass it a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
And our expectation, there you go, expectation is 0.
Yeah.
And we get none.
Ooh, why is that?
Oh.
Oh, because we don't have something at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Return 0. Yeah.
Boom.
Did
Passes.
it work?
What happens if we have 4 ones?
Ah, good question.
Ah. Well, this says score for 3.
Yes, they should
But you just have to have at least 3.
Oh, really? So at least, so 4 and 5, you're gonna give them the score for,
If you've already scored 4 of a kind and you happen to have 4 of a kind,
oh, okay.
so this should give you a score of,
So it should be greater than 3, right? It should be greater or equal to 3.
So then what is the difference between 3 of a kind and the function 4 of a kind?
just the minimum threshold.
Okay.
And a Yahtzee is technically a 5 of a kind.
So some logic up above is making the choice. I've already got 3 of a kind. No, I've already got 4 of a kind. So score this as 3 of a kind.
The user
Yeah,
decides that.
The user decides, yeah.
Okay, okay.
So what's our expected die?
That's 6 or
It's
0?
this-
I guess it's 6.
Well, no, if you go over to of this,
Yeah.
it should be 6.
Yep.
Right.
I think so.
And did we change the greater than on the left side?
We did not, I think it, yep.
Greater than 40.
Greater or equal to. There you go.
Boom. What's that?
Okay,
Oh, there we are.
just in time.
Who's next?
You're up, I think.
So
So
if you
we're-
could just walk me through that, what just occurred?
Yeah, be happy to. So,
Start it after.
yep, sounds good. Can you expand this? Of course, I'm in the way.
Click on that.
That little, yeah.
Right
Just
there?
understand the Yahtzee part of it, so it's,
Oh.
if someone
Did I do it?
rolls,
No, 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 no.
this was for the sum of 3, is that right?
What do you want me to do?
3 of a kind, yeah.
So out of the die, if it's 3 of the 5 are the
Gotcha.
same, you do the sum of that, is that right?
If you want to score whatever you have in the 3 of a kind category,
Right.
you need to have at least 3 of the same number.
Okay,
You can have 4, or you can have all 5 of them.
okay,
So we have a couple tests to say, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. We have at least 3 of the same kind.
right,
Therefore, we get a non-zero score. On the next row is a separate test, because PyTest is going to loop through all 3 of these configurations.
nice,
We don't have any duplicate values across the die. So it says you can score it, but
Okay.
your score is 0.
okay,
And the last one was because you had the equals equals sign. I said, well, what if we have 4? So now this is saying, yeah, we know that we still have at least 3 of the same kind,
right,
so we can score it, and it's still the sum of the dice.
okay,
This could be written out as 3 separate functions.
okay,
I like to parameterize just so it kind of says these are all doing the same thing.
yeah.
Um,
I get what you're saying, like, so you're writing out the logic of what 3 of a kind is essentially to you, and you're describing to the program what a 3 of a kind is.
yeah.
And so you've written 1, where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so there's no 3 of a kind. Your expected score for because you're describing what 3 of a kind looks like is 0.
Yeah.
And then for 1, 1, 1, you're describing what 3 of a kind would look like in this, but so it's 4, 5, 6. So you can still score that as 3 of a kind. So the 3 of a kind function will still score that as a 6 if you want to count that. Because if that was in your last roll out of the 3 and you wanted to keep it, you would score it a 6. Is that right?
Yeah, if you needed to score this as a 3 of a kind instead of a 4 of a kind, because you already had a 4 of a kind, you can
Yeah.
only use each category once,
Right.
then yeah, that would score as 6 points under the 3 of a kind.
Category.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So like the different categories can have different points. So it's an
Yes.
Okay.
Can you go back to the README on the left pane?
Is that right here?
I think just a tab.
The tab.
Oops.
So to your
Maybe
right.
maybe you should pay attention to where the mouse is. Yeah, why don't you?
I'll do that first.
I got you.
So we did the top parts 1 through 6, and that's just scoring the exact things, or the sum of the pips on the dice that have that value.
Yep.
For 3 of a kind and 4 of a kind, it's, can you move the mouse a little bit?
Got it. Okay, okay.
Yeah, and then full house, small straight, large straight.
The other ones are points. We have to do those differently, right? You're not.
Yeah, those
subbing
are
anything.
specific points, but you still have to test for the condition.
Right.
So if a single player is playing, they would essentially fill these categories, and then that's
That's the end of the
Yahtzee.
game.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when you're actually playing it, you're probably playing with a couple people and you're
Sure.
passing the dice around and everyone's picking, it's a game of chance.
You try to fill these categories,
Yeah,
essentially.
and you're trying to get the highest overall
Got it.
score.
Got it. Okay.
Because
That
otherwise
makes
you'd be playing
sense.
for days to actually get an actual Yahtzee. And it's like 12 hours, 6
You can score the Yahtzee but get 0.
Right, that's what I mean, that's what
Yeah.
you have to do.
Okay. I understand the game of Yahtzee now.
Cool.
That will help me.
Maybe next time I'll pull the video.
There you go. Maybe we should play a game first.
That's
I
not a
brought
bad
the
idea.
So Chris, how do I get back to
You
the
gotta write it
code?
before you play it.
Hit the tab.
Oh, the tab, just different tab. I got you. Great.
And actually, go ahead and hit that little icon here.
This right here.
Yeah, and it'll collapse the, there you go.
Perfect.
Okay, so that was the test, is that right? This tab or this section is called
That's
the
test, right?
Okay, so
Those are test cases.
the test cases, I understand the logic behind that, so what is written here in the?
That's the actual code.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what the function is doing, so for x in the range of 1 through 7.
Right.
So, x represents the dice roll, is that right? For
So
dice?
a range, the function range
Right,
generates numbers.
1 through 7.
1 through
in this case,
6.
1 to 6.
1 to 6.
7's a stop.
So the first time through, actually be 1, and then we'll check to see if there are 3 ones in the dice. If so, it'll sum them, then it'll loop back up. X is 2, go through it again, go 3, 4, 5, all the way to 6.
Interesting. Okay, so dice count.
In fact, if you want, if it would help, would you mind pausing the timer? I want to go on a little tangent.
You want some here?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Just to kind of, I always find it helpful to debug things. So in this case, we pass in so this is the first test case, right? So it's, the dice are 1, 1, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And now when we go to the next one, x is now equal to 1.
Right.
So we count, so in this case, it's going to be more than 3. So we're going to come in here and then we return the sum of the dice, which we know is, at least now that we're over here, we know that it's going to be 8 because that's what we don't have the variable that shows it, but that's what's going to work here. And we're going into deeper things, so I'm going to go back here. This time, we're looking for it again. So we've started, this is the second test case, right? So you can see the dice are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
So we step in, x is 1, there is not 3 ones, so we go back up. X is 2, we check again, it's not, it's not, so we go 3, 4, 5, 6, and since we've now exhausted the range,
Right.
we go to 0. And then we check for that, and in this case 0 is expected to 0, it'll work, and then this last time we'll do 1, it's more than 3, and it'll return whatever the value is. Does that help?
It is helpful. I'm wondering, so it says if the x is greater than 3, then it'll go to the next one, which is return the sum dice. No.
It's if the count of the dice of the value 3 in the list, so it's saying, take all the dice, count how many dice have the value of X,
Oh.
and if there's 3 or more, then
Got it.
yeah.
It's a test for 3 of a kind.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So for instance, on the bottom here, I'm doing dice count 6 is 0. If we count 3, we get 1. And in this case, we are getting 3, a count of 3. So yeah, so this, essentially all I have to say is like this evaluates to 3.
Okay. Okay.
What other questions do you have?
I'd like to try one. I'd like to write one.
All right, you want to come back and some? Cool.
So that was 3 of a kind.
So you want to start over where the test is on the right there?
Yeah, so we're doing 4 of a kind. I guess we can sort of just copy. what's
Yeah,
going
you
on.
just copy those 3 lines down.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Let's see if I can do that.
Oh yeah, I realized one thing I didn't say about the test driven development is a lot of
Oops.
Oh.
I did something wrong. I hit control, I was trying to,
Amazing.
Just click.
Yeah, just click. There you go.
there you go, okay. So
one-
how do you cut and paste here?
Command.
It's not control C?
Command, it's Command C.
Command, oh, Command C, I gotcha. I can use the arrow to that? Can I do this?
No, you have to hold down Shift to do the arrow.
Ah, so do Command Shift and then,
Just Shift.
oh, just Shift.
That
I
way it's
gotcha.
like a PC.
That's so interesting.
I want to take a poll of how many people are Mac users versus
And now
PC
Command
users
C.
entire VA.
To copy it, I gotcha. And so right down here, is a Command V?
Yep.
You want to get rid of the erroneous parentheses though.
Get rid of the,
That one.
That one and the very first one, the first line.
Hmm.
right there.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Okay,
Still one.
did I get rid of it?
No. Hit delete. That's backspace.
Who?
Hit enter. Hit
I did.
right arrow
Oh, let's see.
and then delete.
There you go.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so that's the test.
So we can run it to see if it fails, is that
Oh,
right?
we gotta change the data though, right? Because we want 4, we're doing 4 now, right?
Really all you need to do is change that 8 to a 0.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That looks too.
This is a 0, and that is a
Six.
6.
Six,
Perfect,
yeah.
perfect, okay.
So you run it to see if it fails, is that right?
Yeah?
You can.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so in this case,
Yeah.
it moved. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, that's,
Failed?
okay.
Okay,
So you just copy and paste that and
Yeah,
change it
yeah.
to 4 where the 3 is.
and just make this 4.
Mhm.
Give it a shot.
Awesome.
What did I, where did it
It's just
go? Oh, right
collapsed.
there, because we're at the end here?
Yeah, just collapse the.
Oh, okay. So how do I open it up again?
You can close that. Close that first.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then just hit that little triangle, tiny little triangle. There you go.
There we go, okay.
We go to the next one, or, yeah, 5, is there a 5 one?
Small straight.
No, now we're up to small straight.
Small straight, interesting, okay, so we're gonna read me just to see what that is.
It's 30 points if you have 4 dice that are interconsecutive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, and it's the sum of that dice.
No, it's
30 points if you hit it.
Oh, wow, oh,
So the scoring is easy, the figuring it out is a little
Yeah.
harder.
okay, scroll down, I guess we utilize this last 6 seconds to get there, set it up for the next person. And we're going to, yep, all right.
One thing I realized I forgot to mention about this some people, I mean, no, yeah, I'll just leave it there. That probably, I don't know if that makes any difference to anybody, but I just realized it's a good thing to say.
Makes sense, yeah.
Well said.
Okay, so for a small straight, I guess might as well make some test cases to start with.
Yeah.
And so it's four, three in ascending order or four in ascending order?
Right. Small straight, 3 in ascending order?
4 in a row,
Four.
because a large straight is all 5.
Okay, right. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so we can go ahead and make a couple of other cases. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 1, 1. Here we go. Go 1, 2, 3. What? Actually, but that actually is 4, which I guess that still works though. So yeah, I guess we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Yeah, 1, 2. Actually, let's just say 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then there won't be any, and that should give us a 0. Yeah, that should give us 0.
Is that too many,
I think it might be 1.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, get rid of that comma before the bracket. That would be something.
So it's unhappy because you don't have a comma after the top one, after.
Oh, okay, got it.
There you go.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know if this one means.
Okay, so that will fail. I guess we now have one part that just, might as well just go ahead and have one that just has 3s.
Okay.
So that's why I would say, yeah, go ahead and do, or actually, let's not do 1, 2, 3. Let's do something that isn't 1, 2, 3. Let's start at, let's say 4, 5, 6. And then maybe 3, 2. Okay, yeah, that should work. That should go, that's ascending, so it should be 30.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're just not in order.
right.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how you implement it.
Yeah.
Okay, that fails. Okay, now,
Now the fun part.
yeah.
Well, I think that becomes the first requirement, right? You probably want to sort the list.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I sorted it, but.
What? No?
Oh, okay.
But that's just the way I did it. That doesn't mean it's the way it
What's-
should be done.
If we sort, what's the advantage? We could just see if each successive number is increasing.
Well, it has to be one greater than, not increasing it.
It should be one greater than, right?
Greater than.
Would that be the check or?
That's what I'm wondering, is maybe that's a better way to do it.
Well, the nice thing is, the way test-driven development works, you don't have to worry about the best way to do it. You just do it, make sure it passes, and then you make it better.
Right, that's true. Yeah, but I don't want to necessarily do it this some sort of exhaustive thing. I suppose I could, yeah.
Well, what I've found is, a lot of this, for me and a lot of people I've worked with, we get paralyzed thinking, what's the best way to do it? I don't want to do it the stupid way. And what I've worked hard and test-driven development is helping me do is not worry about that. Get something out, let it pass.
And you never overanalyze things.
Yeah, right.
It's also a good jumping off point though, like what's the best way to do it? I mean, I haven't been doing it long, but it's just like a really helpful, like, okay, what is the best way to do it? And that gives me something to aim for versus like, if I don't have that aim, then I'm just like, oh God.
The best way to do it is the way that works.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, because
Sure.
the first thing that comes to mind for me, unfortunately, is something sort of exhaustive where you say, if there's a 1, is there a 2, and is there a 3?
Well, there's like 4 other brains here, so if you talk that out, we'd be able to help
Right.
narrow it down.
Oh, yeah.
So, given that they have to be 3 in a row, and there are only 5 dice, so they're only, well, actually, no, it's not so much that there are 5. If you sort them, then you want to look for, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, or 4, 5,
Right.
6. And so the question is, you want it, in other words, if you have it sorted in the, I guess, yeah, I'm not sure.
There's only
what's
3 or 4
license-
there's only 3 or 4 possibilities,
Right,
right?
there's a limited number of possibilities. That's what I'm trying to figure out is how do you do that exhaustively?
I think a good point to start would just be to sort it, and then go from there. Like, okay, we've got it. Now we have a sorted list. How do we then identify are they ascending or descending? Like,
Right,
so we take a list, we sort it,
yeah.
and then we go from there.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, so then, so I guess to start with, we have, let's see, we'll just say, dice equals dice dot sort, or something like that.
Chris.
I would do
Yeah,
dice
Chris.
equals
I'm sorry,
sorted.
you're
Yeah,
right.
dice
Right.
equals sorted.
Right.
Yeah, there it is,
That's
yeah,
how we do it.
right, okay.
Because if you start with 1, you say, well, is there 2 of those? Is there, now it's,
That's not how I did it.
then it's not, you do it though.
So going the route that you're going, it might actually be easier to do the large straight first and then come back to the small straight.
Oh, you're right, yeah, that's true.
Because then you can copy what you did from the
Oh.
large straight and then just modify it a little bit more.
Yeah.
How does a large straight work? That's all 5.
5 in a row.
Interesting.
So 1 through 5 or 2 through 6.
Yeah,
Right,
Did you want to rotate?
yeah.
sure.
So let's, yeah.
All right, so let's do the large straight.
So does that mean we should go and write the test for it first? or-
I say the first thing I want to do is in line 86 on that right side, on the test side,
Oops.
on the test side,
Oh, on the test side, yeah. Okay,
do at PyTest.
You just really don't want to see that red.
Dot mark,
uh-huh, dot mark,
dot skip.
okay, skip, just skip.
Yep, just so that we don't have to worry about, we don't get the visual noise of having a failing test before we
Nice.
get to it.
Right, so now we can come down to large straight.
Yeah, and so let's go ahead and make a new test case in the square brackets. And yep, and then we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should equal
40.
40.
40.
If you read the score 40, there's a straight of 5 dice.
Oh, okay, there we are. And then we'll do another one exactly, except this time we'll do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, wait, am I missing some syntax here? Okay, let's look at, oh, yeah, there is. Right,
There you go.
okay.
40, not that, yeah. And then do one more, which would be like,
Just copy the middle from the one above.
oh, it's good.
Yeah, I would, yeah, oh, actually, yeah, that seems better.
Just copy the 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay, let's see. Command X,
Command C. Yeah.
right, no, command, now Command V.
Command V. I see what you're saying. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you're right, I should have just done a
I
command.
saw a post the other day, it was like, what's your favorite keyboard shortcut as a developer? And it's Control C, 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 Control V.
Okay,
Like,
get rid of that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
now-
syntax, it looks like we have everything we want here.
Indeed.
Okay,
All right, and we can rerun the test down next to the word console, to the right of the word console.
there it is.
Yeah. Okay, so now we are, so I guess instead of pass there on line 79, yeah, so let's do dice equals sorted dice.
Okay.
And, okay, so we'll do min, M-I-N,
Ah,
is equal to dice square bracket 0,
Oh, yes.
and then max
Oh, that's good.
is equal to dice minus 1. And then, so I'll do this. Let's do, well, let's just do this. Okay, if max minus min is equal to, it's 4, right? It's equal, or I should say it's not equal to 4. I should say not double equals 4.
Double equals 4?
Yeah. And change, or I guess before the double equals do not. So if max minus min is not equal to 4.
Oh, not equal to 4?
Yeah.
Now I have to remember, is that?
No,
this?
no, literally not. NOT.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Does it?
You can do the,
That's
you can do what you just did.
oh.
Really? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. It's so funny. Like I've
There should be one and only one obvious way to do it.
right, exactly.
What does it turn the symbol into? It turned it into something.
It did, it does, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the limiter for.
Yeah.
Ah.
Now hit enter and return 0. Okay, so that takes care of like, you know, test case number 2. In fact, let's go ahead and rerun the test to see if that does take care of it. It does.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, why don't we go ahead and pass the next test and just say, instead of pass, down on line 84,
Yeah.
do return 40.
Oh. Okay.
So we'll have to come up with more test cases that show that we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it passes.
So what happens with 11114?
We'll have to test it out. The next person up.
Well, technically it's 11115. Time.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So,
So
oh, sorry. Yeah.
we have two things we can do. Either we can save this and come back next month if we want, or I can go through and show you what I did with everything. I assume the retrospective will be quick. But
Yeah.
I would say we save it. Save it and come back.
This is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Rock on.
Cool, yeah. That's less work for me next month.
Cool. So before we leave, I don't have, like normally we hand out post-it notes so we can talk about how retrospective, but I just want to have like a little open discussion. Like, what did we learn? What I want to know. I'd like to know your observations about tonight. What things you've learned? What things you liked or disliked? How did you feel about this? Stuff like that. Anybody has any? Like, first off, I want to say, like, I'm really proud of you guys for stepping up and jumping in on this. You know, like, we have varying skill levels, and it takes a lot to like stand in front of a group of people, and it's very vulnerable to like tell somebody else how to code. So, way to go, guys.
Or to sit here and try to figure out what they just told you to code.
Right.
Especially on a computer that's not yours. Yeah, so well done. Yeah, thanks. I feel like this is one of the best.
I think this worked out well.
I think it's because of the people.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it worked out well. I think it was nice to go through the process. I haven't used PyCharm, and I haven't, most of my test-driven development has been a little bit less organized than this. So it's nice to see the flow of things. So I thought it was great. I
Nice.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is fantastic. I would just say, I always appreciate the upfront encouragement to say, just like, hey, we can also use the time for you just to ask questions.
Yeah.
That's super helpful, and I think, you know, I don't have a perfect memory, but I know that the last time I was here, that was said, and it was again said here. And I was probably gonna wait to get up there, but it's always just nice to have that open encouragement, like, hey, you can just ask questions.
Yeah.
That just, you know, bolsters whatever little confidence or however much confidence you come here with, it just bolsters that. So,
Yeah,
yeah, this is amazing.
we try to encourage that, in my opinion. if we write a single line of code and that's it, and the rest is just great discussion and people are learning, fine by me.
Yeah.
I don't care. This is just to facilitate learning.
Yeah. It
So,
works.
Yeah.
Doing this in a group is very different from the way that, I mean, right now I'm working at home with the rest of my group is on the West Coast. And there's really, we don't spend all our time on Zoom meetings, so basically working in a group with, as you go, is not something I've had a lot of exposure to in the last, 10 years or so, so this is really
Wow.
Rock on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
yeah.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Can't remember where in the process of blackjack you came in, but did having it all stubbed out make a difference?
Having it all.
Having the functions kind of there, just empty, did that make a difference in your mind?
Yeah, this is, I don't, the blackjack, it's tough because when I first came into blackjack, I was like in my own learning of Python was different. And so it's been a few months. So there's a lot more on here that I've been exposed to in my own time, so I'm learning a little bit more. So seeing this is a little more familiar than it was when it was Python. When I first came in, it was just like, oh, this is a lot. But to answer your question, yes, this was super helpful to have it, just to be able to work on the logic of the functions and stuff myself, and to have other people do it, and then be able to ask questions. It's super helpful. It makes a ton of difference.
I feel like no one was actually just standing up there like, what do we do?
Yeah, this is a really cool environment. Like honestly, like even I was surprised where I was just able to kind of pick it up because it's very like you guys make it really easy, and everybody was like really cool about just like being explanatory. So that makes it really simple.
It's actually kind of funny because like I think it's hard. That's one of the hardest skills about this, which is I'm so glad that it works well tonight. But like as developers, we usually think so deep level, and actually in a number of ways we did do it this way, where we're like saying like type these specific keystrokes, and many times you do have to do that. But I learned how to do this from a guy who he does a number of places, and one instance of this, they were at WWDC one year, and after hours, a group of them went to some space and decided they were going to do ensemble coding for a problem. And one of the guys brought his daughter because like he had custody or whatever, she had to be there, and so he's like, hey, do you want to join in? And she's like, no, and she just grabbed her iPad and just went off in the corner and just was playing or whatever. Well, then they were doing a tic-tac-toe kata. And after a rotation, she's like listening to what they're saying, and she says, I know that game. Can I do this? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And they said she was the best driver because she didn't know code. She knew the business that well, and she knew to say like, if you put an X in a square or whatever. And so she telling the typist on that level unlocked like a new creativity in the programmers. And then when it was her time on the keyboard, they just told her, these are the keys you type. And they said it was like such an incredible ensemble. So, yeah. I'm trying to think what else. I wanted to say there was something I wanted to share myself. I would also like to say thanks for studying the test and the functions, because like, as the first one going, I was debating about which way to go. And it's just easier to fall back on the test functions because they're there.
Yeah, the order of the functions was not the way, or the test was not the way I was expecting us to start the problem.
Yeah.
So I'll keep that in mind for next time. And it was still fine.
Yeah, totally. Really in foundation.
And I will, where is it?
Did you guys do this for blackjack as well? Did you have like a test and then like the functions?
So for blackjack, I said simple enough game, so I thought. And there was a file for the code and a file for the tests. Since early in the pandemic when we started doing this on Discord, we've always done test-driven development because this is how I actually came to even be in PyRVA was listening to a Test and Code podcast episode on which our own Chris May was featured, and I heard PyRVA. Wait a minute. So as soon as I got in the office, I looked it up and I was like, oh snap, that's tonight. And so, I've always tried to keep the test-driven development in here, but I didn't have anything prepared. I was just going to let the group figure out the way we wanted to code it. But that led to a lot of awkward moments of like, I don't know the game, I don't know what to do. We had a bunch of people who were like so new to Python, like there was a lot of struggle.
Yeah.
So I was like, this time I actually wrote the entire program
Yeah.
so it would work. And I guess I could demo it real quick later, but then I was like, okay, let me cut out all the bodies of the functions. I'll remove the parameterized parts, but leave the stub there so it's easy to put it back in. And there's a couple functions that we can refactor a lot better. So I undid those refactorings, just so it's more just like linear. So hopefully we'll be able to get it back to closer to what I did. Not that what I did is the goal, but there's some things that we can learn that are more than just like, oh, here's how you do a list comprehension.
I think I did go to one of the sessions for the game, and it was early on. I think you're right. I think what happens is you get into this. Okay, what's the design of the game?
Yeah.
And you can go through a whole week of talking about what the design is before you actually get down and learn anything about Python. This way, you did the design. We could always refactor it, like you said,
Yeah.
but you're actually doing coding. You're actually using a test and running some code and
Yeah.
getting your hands wet.
So,
So I think it's a good approach. I like it.
cool. That is good feedback.
Word, all right.
Cool.
Any other things before we break? Oh, we are sponsored by JetBrains, the makers of PyCharm. They have given us a license, a 1-year license for free to give away. Are any of you interested in getting a 1-year free license to PyCharm? PyCharming Pro, because PyCharm Community is free. PyCharm Pro.
I won one already, and I can tell you it's great, so if you don't have it, you should get it.
I actually have the step up, I have the, whatever it is, IDA Ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do some Java on this too, so.
Word.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
All right, cool. I'll get it.
I don't need to pull up random.org.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to think what would be the best way to get it to you. I know we changed email, right?
We did, yes.
And
Last name's DePratti, D-E-P-R-A-T-T-I.
I was just going to confirm that. I'm trying to figure out.
While I was looking at that, I also just want to say thanks for
there it is.
braving the weather. Or the questionable road conditions, so. Yeah.
Cool. I'll send you the license.